I've been thinking about my connection with music because a user on here had commented on one of my videos something about music and having an emotional connection with music. And it got me thinking about it. And I have always experienced physical sensations and emotions in connection with music. And the word for that is musical frisson. Frisson. Pardon my French. I do not speak French, and if I say it like it's spelled, then I just sound like a hick, which I kind of am, but I don't want to always sound like one. But it's spelled Frisson, and it's when you experience things like goosebumps or a lump in the throat or, those kinds of things, emotional reaction, tears in response to music. And apparently not everyone experiences that. And I always thought that they did, but only 50 to 75% of people experience that, according to the source that I read. And I didn't do a real deep dive into it. But it said that people who have a stronger cognitive connection to the music are more likely to experience that, like a deeper connection to it. Or people who are more open to experiences may also experience that sensation more frequently. And if it weren't for my sensory issues, I might be a little more open to experiences because there are a lot of things that in theory I think sound like fun, but I don't participate in a whole lot because I know that I'm, continuously accommodating for one sensory issue or another. So, and I don't like being around a lot of people or crowds. So live music is something that I don't get to experience very much. So I do experience that, though, to certain songs. And I have even gone through, a depression where I was listening to a lot of Radiohead. And I stopped listening to Radiohead and I started feeling better because, not that I don't like Radiohead, they are great, they're fantastic, but holy crap, it's like they have just bottled the essence of despair and put it into musical form. It is so sad sometimes, and even though it's beautiful, it's really sad, and it really deeply affects me. So I have to be careful and use the Radiohead in moderation. So, and Tom York, any of his side projects, and all of that. So, that's just one example about how deeply music can affect me. And I have to have an entirely different playlist for running because it has to be stuff that is that I can just let the thoughts process really fast with. So it can't be anything that distracts me, that I start thinking too deeply about the music while I'm running. But so I've come up with a playlist, though, of songs that do affect me. And no, it's not all ghost and it's not all metal. I am polyamorous. I didn't come up with that word. Somebody on the internet did. So yeah, I do love the internet and how funny people can be sometimes. But it's I have a different variety of music on the list, and every single song, though, has something about it that triggers some sort of response, whether it be an emotional response or just the physical chills of hearing a musical sequence. And it doesn't have to have words even, like the ones that paint a real clear picture, vivid imagery. I get immersed in the story and live in the music. And then others with no words, They just, like, it's pure raw emotion where, you know, there will be like a crescendo that just, you know, is like the upswelling of the emotion, and then, you know, that kind of thing. So, and certain instruments like cellos and pianos, I've always favored those. And other, you know, types of music, I am a big fan of bass. I love bass heavy stuff. I haven't really been into like dubstep or a lot of EDM or anything like that, but I do, you might notice throughout that there's some interesting lower tones on some of those songs. And so I'm curious though, if a lot of neurodivergent people experience this, since it isn't a common trait in the entire population. I'm just wondering if there's a significant overlap there. It's not described in anything that I found as specific to neurodivergence, but I was just curious if a lot of us experience that, since I do, and I always thought it was one of those things everybody experiences. So I'm just curious if anybody out there experiences any type of frisson to these songs, or, and you know, if nothing appeals to you, just let me know what does. And another thing, there are a variety of bands out there that cause me to experience this, not exclusively the ones on this list, but some just really are full, their albums are just full of the music that makes me experience frisson. So a few of those are Insomnium, System of a Down, Fleet Foxes, Wolf Alice, Beach House. So it's not exclusive to those, but those are a few that really stand out to me and that I have listened to repeatedly. Like Fleet Foxes, I probably listened to for several years in a row. Once I discovered them, they already had a fairly significant body of work out. So I just listened to them repeatedly for a couple of years, every day in my office. And so, in System of a Down, I listened to their stuff on and off, you know, for the last, 20 something years. So they're another one that the harmonizing that they do, it just really grabs me. Simon and Garfunkel is another one of those harmonization kind of things, and it's as if my body is a tuning fork, and it's just like zing when it hits the right perfect harmonization. And I'm just really responsive to that, so it gives me all kinds of chills when I hear it. So those are a few things that there are a few songs on my playlist, but I didn't think anybody wanted to sit around and listen to an 8-hour playlist. So if you're interested in any of those bands on there and want to just, you know, go check them out, those are some that I highly recommend. I really enjoy those in particular. And and Teresa's. Oh man, I'm really sad that they don't have more out there, because oh my gosh, that lead singer, his voice, when I first heard that, I was just I probably looked like that little kitty cat meme with the cat that's looking at the Christmas tree. Watching him perform on YouTube for the first time, I was probably looked like the kitty cat looking at the Christmas tree. It's something about that voice is, I guess the whole ASMR is not something I go out in search of, but that voice is just, it's perfect. Chef's kiss and all that. So anyway, I was just curious if anyone out there enjoyed music as much as I do, like get the full body enjoyment from from music.